Without the power of God behind everything I do, I really am completely inadequate.
I'm helping the culture. These guys are part of us as well. You know, these guys are our cousin. I'm helping the culture. I'm pushing the culture forward in another way.
Hey, black child, be what you can be, learn what you must learn, do what you can do, and tomorrow.
What do you do after you read? What do you do after you know all, right? And you can say that you're truly conscious. How are you putting what you know into action?
Hey. What is up, y'all? It is Jasmine Gates, your host of the New Black History Maker Show. And of course, we're at the Good News Network in the studio, in a new studio. I mentioned it last week, but I didn't mention it at the beginning of the show. So we are in a new studio. It's not new to the Good News, but it's new for the New Black History Maker Show. And we have the founder. This is the first time on this new.
This is my first time.
Yeah, sure. On the New Black History Maker Show. This is the first time. So shout out to you for coming in.
I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So today we're talking about Black business owners, and we have Keith here. Davonte is here.
Oh, yep, I'm here. I was making sure that this mic's still good. Yeah, we good. I don't want no work hazards. You know what I mean? I just wanted to give him a heads up.
Yes, and then we also have Christi.
Hey, don't we awesome?
No, I mean, because I was like, I wanted to say Davonte, the founder of the Giants Den. So shout out to
that.
Yes,
thank you for having me.
Of course. And then Christi, the founder of The Power Legacy and Children Striving Together.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have y'all. So how are y'all doing?
Great.
God did. That's a loaded question. All right, can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Can we really answer the question?
You want to? Yeah. No, of course.
Okay. I feel great, man. Yeah. I feel amazing. I feel today feels like the best day of my life.
That's
really.
Yeah, I feel so aligned when we talk about like alignment and all things. Like I'm so aligned, and it took a while to get here, but I'm like just really grateful and present.
Yeah.
So day has been amazing.
Yeah.
Life is good.
I love it. Anybody else want to grab that?
Want to grab what?
That question.
Yeah, I agree. I feel great, but it's because I've been dealing with some things this week, and I always say like, man, however it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and things have been working out how they're supposed to work out. So I feel great. I don't know what he over there doing.
No, I was trying to tell her how to, but you good. Don't worry.
To turn it. No, I'm good. We should have adjusted the mics before we started. But I didn't even think about it. But I'm glad that you're in that space.
I'm great.
Yeah, how about you, Keith?
Man, up and down. That's the best way to explain it. I've been focusing on not get too highs on the highs and too lows on the lows, and just being at like a constant, I guess, peace.
Yeah.
Because whether it's a ton of gold or a ton of feathers, it still weighs a ton. So like happiness, joy, and sadness and disappointment, like it's still weighted.
Yeah.
So
come on, you better preach.
Yeah.
For sure. I love that. I've been mentioning it on I probably talked to you about it, Davonte, but mentioning that, I mentioned it last week too, but this aspect of like, oh, people need to be happy. Like when I see people just happy all the time, I'm like, what's going on? Like you ain't happy all the time, So my thing is going after peace. Like he said, the weight of anger and the weight of happiness is still a weight. But if I can be peaceful, even though I'm upset with you, if I can be peaceful, even in my happiness, and not be like I think you posted something like, oh, not celebrating the small wins, right?
Yeah,
but I still need to be at peace during that. I don't need to go, like if we talking about basketball, I didn't made a 3. Now I'm sitting up here just turning up and didn't get back on defense.
And
I need to be at peace.
Yes, sir.
So that's been like my thing. I feel like I talk about it so much on the show, but I'm like, yeah, I know that today I can walk out this door and something could just send me into a sad state for a week. Life happens, regardless of whatever. But I'm like, yeah, we seeking peace over here. For sure.
That's it, man. Just peace. Peace. I just want to just peace.
And that comes through having the things that you spend your time on, your energy on, being aligned to what you care about most. Right. Like, so it feels like peace in my life and alignment comes where my personal life, my professional life, all these things are like, I'm intentional doing things to grow me in those areas. That's where peace for me. If I'm not doing something in one of those areas, I'm probably not in the most peaceful place. Right. And I always have the ability to go back and say, well, you've been slipping on this, or you ain't really been learning much lately, bro. You ain't really been active. You ain't tapped in with your family. These different pieces, right? So yeah, at peace, and there's a recipe to actually try to stay aligned in your peace.
Yeah, for sure. So y'all two have been on the show. So, I asked the second question outside of how are you doing, but it's, something I was reading from an article, and I think it's important that we don't just ask the how are you doing, especially if you have like kids and stuff. I think that's important because kids get in the car after school. It's like, how was school? It was good. I learned a little bit about whatever. Right. And then you just keep going. But I think this is something to practice. Or if you have a spouse or, a significant other, like practicing other ways to get answers out of them or foster different types of conversation. Mm-hmm. So today for y'all business owners, what was the most difficult part of your week?
Most difficult part of your week? Oh man.
Yeah. What's today? Almost like week over.
Man, I guess that's a hard one to say because it's like I put it this way. I've literally decided that nothing is difficult. Everything is easy. Like I decided that this shit is easy.
I was like, is that an easy button? It's a high button.
Right, it's high button. I decided that everything is easy. Like I don't care no more. Like this shit's easy. I'm done with the telling myself it's hard work, because that kind of drains you and you kind of buy that story. Yeah. So it's hard for me to answer. I literally been in my mind like, this shit easy, bro. Yeah. I do this shit with my eyes closed. So that's kind of my energy is right now.
Right. Yeah, okay. So I'm like, not mine. But that's something great to adopt. Yeah. But for me, I think the most difficult. Okay, so story time. Have a nonprofit, of course. Yes. So we were supposed to be receiving a $10,000 check that was supposed to be mailed out July 5th. And that was supposed to help with this field trip and the mentor program, all that fun stuff. So anywho, we were checking on the status of it because this weekend is the field trip. And they withdrew the check. Ooh. No reason, no explanation, just maybe in the future. Now, we've been counting on this check since July 5th because you've been in correspondence with us saying, oh, no, we're just waiting for the signature. We're going to mail it. Actually, you don't even mail it. You're going to come pick it up.
Right.
So when I hear that we're not getting this check, automatically I'm like, oh my God, because we got to pay for this and the gala's coming up and this and that and that. That was difficult. That was difficult to even, I'm not going to even lie, start crying. I'm a woman. I'm emotional. So I'm like, I got to go tell these babies that they can't go on this field trip this week and this, that. That was difficult. But I got the money to go take the babies on the field trip.
Go.
So that was great.
Let's hit that hype.
Now we hype. Yeah, we hype now. But that was difficult. That was very, very difficult. We know how it is with nonprofits trying to get money anyway. Yeah. So anybody that's gonna get a $10,000 check, you already like, thank you, Lord. So when it's taken away, it's like,
right.
What? Right. So yeah, that was difficult week.
That's real though, because people don't account for those. Like they see us.
I say everything now. I used to not be so transparent because you don't want everybody to know everything. Yeah. But it's too many people out here trying to do the same thing that we're doing, and they need to know things happen.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with it?
Like it's cute, right? Like people wearing your brand. You got people coming in here, doing shows. People rocking my brand. You got men that are like literally following you, and it's like, all that stuff is cute, but when you hit one of them, it's not all that it's caked up to be. And most times you got to deal with that on your own.
Yep.
And
no one knows.
Figure it out.
No, and nobody knows, and you can't share it. Like that's not allowed. When you are who you are, you can't share your.
And that's where the heaviest the head comes from. Yep. That's where this is a lonely road. It's lonely at the top. All that, all those like different sayings come from the fact that you got to hold a certain level of poise.
Yep.
And you got to stay confidential with certain shit to protect the ultimate vision and goal of what you're building. And that's not, obviously that's why we got the Giants Den. You know what I mean? So that we have a space for those type of things. But, where do you sit when where do you share that information in appropriate time? That's traumatic. Emotionally, what you go through as a business owner, and I don't say entrepreneur, I say a business owner, because also I'm understanding that some people just don't want to work for other people. Yeah. Right. And some people just don't want to follow certain structures and systems, but they have no interest in building a business. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where people they're above board and people are getting employed and marketing is a real thing and projections and shit like that is a real thing. So as business owners, emotionally, it is a roller coaster. It is a lot of like frustrated. And then you come back out and people are like, oh, snap, hey, you killing it. And you be like, I don't see me how you see me. Right. I see me up here all night trying to learn this thing and do that thing. So yeah, real talk, man.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's great.
But I don't see me how you see me. I was thinking about that this week because I'm sure we all can attest to the fact that people have hyped us, and that's not even like trying to toot our horns or like being more proud than we should be. But people have hyped us because they've seen the work that we put into our businesses, right? People are benefiting from what we've put out there. But it's like oftentimes I'm like, we'll get accolades or we've even complimented each other. And I'm like, the way Keith sees me, I don't necessarily see myself because I'm the person that's like, oh no, I had to create Watch Us Make History on the computer. And I was like, oh, okay, I think it looked cool. Then I put it on shirts and then it started selling and it was like, oh, it did do cool, right? But like Keith believed in it before I put it on the computer, So it's like, that's a difficult thing for me too, to really see myself the way that people that are buying from me or my customers see me.
Well, it's not difficult, it's just impossible. And that's not, you literally can't see yourself. Like, look at yourself right now. You know what I'm saying?
It's impossible.
Like, literally, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know how Christi looks. She doesn't know how she looks right now.
Right.
Unless she has some form of reflection. And even then, it's the opposite of what she sees. She's seeing in reverse versus I'm seeing you the way you are. So you literally never see yourself in that fashion. So it's like, why even? You know what I mean? Try to see yourself in that vision. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you just take it all on and just kind of, you got to see from within. It's like, all right, that's why even me or even us, we get caught in, just doing the work because we can't see. And it's not for us to see. It's really not for us to see. It's for us to do,
Right.
So it's like,
we got off we just came off the elevator and we were having a conversation about humility, you know what I'm saying? And kind of like this, I was sharing that like, I've been in this place so much of I'm not somebody who tries to be humble. I'm not where I'm trying to be. So what we flexing on, what we talking about? I got stuff to do. Like that was great. But this is just your dream.
Yeah.
I got plans. I got big plans. Like I'm, you know what I mean? I'm trying to go way up here. So with that, it is important though to recognize who you are and what you've contributed to the society through your work.
Yeah.
And cause that sometimes you be needing to remind yourself. It don't always come from somebody like, oh, Jazz, you killing it. I love it. Like that you appreciate that, but it don't like you ain't wake up in the morning like, yeah, like they just appreciated me. You gotta feel that way.
Yeah.
It gotta come from you looking at your own resume. Like, damn, this how many events we did this year. This how many people we impacted. This how many units we sold. This how many, you know what I mean? This how much, like whatever it is for you. That's where that confidence is like, yeah, and I just did that observation this week. And I recognized I finally lift my head up and I was like, oh, I like what I've been doing. Oh, you did that? I'm like, I did that? That was me, my thinking. So like, it is important to have the balance of like not having other people hype, but for you to go through occasionally to remind yourself of what you've been able to contribute.
For sure. And I'm gonna go ahead.
Go ahead. And I was gonna add to that too. Like, if you really want to know where you are, go to the place where people that's in your industry is. And like, so you can think you're the shit and then you get somewhere and you realize you're not. You know what I mean? I had that realization at one point, then I had the opposite realization as well. You know what I mean? I realized like, man, I'm not nothing. What do I think I'm in my little job? Okay, he's got that little city popping. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He got the little city popping, right? You know what I'm saying? And,
that's hilarious.
But and that's how we think. We get constructing our same 100 people that praise us, and it's like, okay, you thinking you hot because the same 100 people, but it's like, no, you got to get out and realize how hot you're not, and get that little slice of humble pie, and also you get to see where you are, because I think I got to see really, even by going to Vegas and ABJ, how different I was, and even the industry, like the top industries is. Now it's catching up to what I've been doing for the last few years. So that
validating.
Exactly at the same time, but you got to go get that real validation to see where you really are in the industry.
And was that the opposite that you were talking about?
No, so this time, more recently, I realized like, man, ain't nobody fucking with me. But prior, it was more so like, yo, like, okay, like like everybody see you as this, but you're really not doing that much. You know what I'm saying? So you had to like,
a giant looks in the mirror and sees nothing.
Definitely not a giant for sure.
No, like when
you said you're not a giant.
No, I'm saying like what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, just in terms of how you view where you are. We're saying like you don't see yourself, how other people see you. You're not. I woke up this morning. I had to brush my teeth. I had to go in there and use the bathroom one time. Like I see myself very regular. Like I am. This is just a part of who I am. What I give is just who I am. Yeah. There's no special thing. There's none of that. So when I look in the mirror, I'm looking at where I can develop, where I can grow, where I can get better. Just naturally.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at my wins. On Coach Carter, at the end of on the scene, it was a scene where Worm, he like, yo, read out my numbers, coach. They just won the game. And coach is like, he read out some numbers, and Worm is like, no, man, I had this many points and this many rebounds and this many assists. He's like, well, you had this many turnovers, this many missed shots. You know what I'm saying? This is how many fouls you had. That's how we get better.
Yeah.
We see them numbers, but also you look in the mirror and where you at?
Yeah.
What we celebrating? What we talking about?
Right.
You know, so yeah, that's the whole idea of looking in the mirror and just having this sense of natural humility, only because you know that God got way more in store for you.
Amen.
Yeah,
for sure. Back to you. Most difficult part of your week.
Oh yeah, that was the question though.
Yeah.
I flew in this week. I had a late flight. I was in New York for like 11 days. So this week, so technically Monday, I was in New York, and I was there for 11 days. So like, as somebody who got a lot going on, it was very therapeutic to like retreat that way. Then I also felt like I need to get back. You know what I mean? I need to get back to it. And my flight middle of the night, so I didn't get much sleep Tuesday, and my whole sleep schedule just been like off. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. I'm going to sleep at like 1 a.m.
5:15.
And I'm just not sleepy. I'm not. It's not because I'm trying to be superior. I just like, I don't know what's happening with my whole situation in terms of sleep. So that's not difficult, but it's been like something that's not common. This has been a great week. I came back very focused because I was in New York. And I wasn't able to be away. I took walks every day. You know what I mean? So I would get up and walk like a couple miles every day. And it's like Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn is like super cool with trees and all that. And I would just think, right? And so coming back, I felt like I was able to like hit the ground running because I did a lot of like mental preparation.
For sure. I love that. So let's get into what y'all businesses are. I know people may know, but there are people who do not know. So, and y'all know me, founder of New Black History. But yeah, whoever Christi, you wanna go first? Since you got two. I mean,
sure.
You can go twice if you want to.
So yes, I have two businesses. Children Striving Together is my nonprofit. I've had that for 9 years. It'll be 10 years in March.
Dang.
So that makes me happy. Yeah. And yeah, I started that based in Compton. That's where I'm from, of course. And I just wanted to do something for the youth, because I know growing up, it wasn't like I was missing a lot of things, because my grandparents gave me what I needed. I'm not gonna say what I wanted, I'm gonna say what I needed, but it was other people that didn't have. So I'm like, what about these people? Like, why do we always have to start something because of something we went through? Like some negative, traumatic thing happened and now we did this. That wasn't my thing. Now, can I give a story? Yeah, I was born with, me and my sisters were born with, my mom was on drugs, like hardcore drugs. Like she started at 18. I was born when she was 26. So we dealt with that, but that's a lot of people's story. So I started the nonprofit. I wanted to just, enrich the youth, give them something different. In school right now, we don't see wood shop, home economics. You don't see financial literacy. You see it now, but we wasn't learning that. We were just learning the basic things that we needed. So I'm like, in the event that this child does not go to college, not because they're not smart enough, but because a sickness happens, they have to take care of their siblings, what are they going to do if they don't have any life skills? Like, what would they do? So I wanted to focus on that aspect of things. So that's how Children Striving Together was born. And because of that, and through that, I started the Power Legacy, because maybe 5 years in, I saw so many people wanting to start nonprofits. And then I start seeing all this LLC talk, and people want to do LLCs for the wrong reasons and the right reasons. But I'm like, no, there's like, when I started this nonprofit, I didn't have that coach in my ear telling me, don't do this, don't do that. I had to get 5 years in to even really, really start taking off. So, and it's not even where I wanted to be, just, like you guys were saying. So I started the Power Legacy because I really wanted to help people start their own businesses, but I niched down to nonprofits. So now I focus only on nonprofits, because there's so many nonprofits being birthed, and the first thing they jump into is the money. I need a grant. I need some donations. Let me put this little event together real quick so people can give us money. And it's like, what about your infrastructure? What kind of standard operating procedures do you have? Like, if I want to remove myself from this nonprofit and we wanted to run like the YMCAs or the Boys and Girls Club, what blueprint did you put out for this, for somebody else to run it? There's none. They're not doing that. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on now. And yeah, that's my two businesses.
Man, let's go. I was like, yeah, man. Hey, People just think you do this and that. You got to have some foundation in operations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Play it.
You want to tell us about your business?
Founder and CEO of the Good News Radio Network. We own a series of 4 radio stations, working on our 5th currently. They're all live. We produce over 24 podcasts every week. Now with the acquisition of Dallas, that's going to jump up to 36 per week. So outside of that, we do a series of training. We also do a series of podcast education and anything that goes along with the industry. Also now, expanding the brand beyond radio and podcast, getting into the comedy world. I would like to expand into more music and get into that industry and really feeling out what that's like, because it has a lot of there's a lot of financial opportunity there. And I see that the influence that we have had in radio and podcasts and really just audio in general is just what people are willing to listen to and watch.
Yeah.
That's the industry I'm in. So now getting, like I said, moving over to music with our Vibes radio station, our R&B station, which has been actually increasing. I've been liking what I'm seeing. We're building that pretty slow, which I actually like the process of how we're building that. Usually I come out with a big bang, but this one has been more of a slow process, and I like that because I'm learning along the way. It's a new industry. So and outside of that, I'm a motivational speaker by day and night, naturally, just because I'm always talking to myself. So end up talking to other people. And I'm a person that really am striving to be extremely rich. I don't have no cut on that. I don't care what nobody thinks. I'm not trying to save the whales. I'm trying to get rich. So if anybody is interested in that or have any type of ideas that they have, I'm open to talking about it. So yeah.
I love it. You better be honest.
Davonte.
Yes. What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Davonte Green. I proudly serve as the founder and CEO of the Giants Den Leadership Network and Consultancy based in Los Angeles, but we do have a national presence with our 5:15 a.m. call that we've run every week for the last 3 years. Full of men. It's a safe space in that way. Currently, we have over 50 paid members in the Giants Den, and they make up every industry in professional industry that there is. So from teaching, so from education to entrepreneurship to the creators of the world, the metaverse architects of the world, the politicians of our local politicians, and then everything in between. So the Giants Den is a safe space for Black men to grow personally and professionally, and that impact really bleeds over into not only what they do for work, but what they do in the homes and what they're doing in the communities as well. So we just recently secured a partnership with the Connect, which is our physical location. We have a beautiful space right in South Central. So if you were familiar with Vector 90 at a point, it was Nipsey Hussle's last project that we know about before his untimely demise, of course. And if you know me, a lot of y'all just getting to know me, but I'm really Nipsey Hussle inspired. This whole thing was manifested, right? We now are in that space that was designed to be a mecca of great minds in the city that we're from, and to need that type of inspiration. We're able to continue on that legacy now. So we hold a number of workshops, seminars, special meetings, social events, networking events. We do a summit every year. We just did a Black Mental Wealth Summit this past summer. So that's what we are on. You know what I mean? We're really on about protecting this minority group of Black men, because yes, we are Black men, but it's also a minority group of us who are breaking chains and barriers and doing it for the culture and doing it on the with the aspiration of getting to the highest of levels. So we're protecting the energy in the Giants Den that supports the impact that each member makes. So yeah, thanks for having me on here. Appreciate it.
For sure. I feel like I want to talk about my business now.
Yeah.
So
why not?
But y'all know, so this is New Black History Makers. We are a brand committed to uplifting the Black community through media, marketing, and merchandise. This is media, what you see with our show. I said media, marketing, and merchandise. It's media, merchandise, and events. So merchandise, I have on Watch Us Make History. We have the I Am a New Black History Makers designs, and the History Maker design. And then as far as events, we have thrown a few different things. So panels, Black women in business luncheons, or women in business luncheons. And then also one of the things that I'm most proud of is the Minding Your Mental Health, which is a space for Black boys to talk about their mental health with Black male therapists. So if you are new and you do not know me and what I do, that is my offering to the world with New Black History Makers. But before we go to break, so we all have on something different. Basically, me and Keith kind of got this. I don't know. I told you what the talk was about, or no?
Yeah,
okay, so I just hit them up because these are my friends too, and I was like, "Yo, I need y'all on the show." And I think Davonte was like, "Wait, what are we talking about?" And then when I got here today, Keith was like, "What are we talking about?" So I guess I didn't do it the formal way, but I knew they would just show up regardless of what was going on. So Davonte knew. Christi knew. I knew, of course. Keith, would you have came different if you knew we were talking about Black business owners?
Possibly, yeah. I didn't know what today's topic. I dressed. I probably would have. I dressed for like a mover today.
Okay.
So
like, I thought everybody was gonna come in like their merch. Like I thought, because I learned from Keith. So like 5 years ago, Keith was even still now, but when New Black History Makers, when I only was selling the I'm a New Black History Maker shirts, Keith, I would see Keith in the Good News shirts. And I was like, okay, I need to be doing what he's doing because he's on a different level for me. So yeah, I came in merch. I thought Davonte would maybe have on a logo hat, and I thought Christi would have on a Children Striving Together shirt, but they came dressed for success.
But here we now I learned, even as I normally would wear, something with a blazer or a suit. That's why I got those pins, because I was having an issue there. Like, do I want to wear my suit? Do I want to wear my t-shirt? Until I figured out how to bridge the two. So, I definitely recommend anybody, no matter what you're wearing, like, you want to look good, but you also got to figure out where to brand yourself professionally.
Right. And we're going to hold on to that thought because we're going to go to break. But I want to have this conversation about how we all showed up.
I'm excited. Yeah, that's
interesting. But we're going to go to commercial. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Send the link to somebody if you're watching.
Oh, now you want to take the glass.
Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the Podcast Pit.
What's the Podcast Pit?
I'm glad you asked. The Podcast Pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The Podcast Pit is coming. The Podcast Pit is coming.
Hey, what's up, business owners? Are you looking to take your business a step forward? Are you looking for more people to know what you have to offer? You are in luck. The Good News Radio has a special deal for you right now. You can get a commercial slot 4 times a day, every day for a month. If you are interested, email contact@tgnradio.net for more information.
What's up, friends? It's IE and Friends. We're here at the Podcast Pit LA. It was so fun. We came to rep the IE. I think we did a pretty good job. So shout out to the Podcast Pit for having us. Shout out to TGN. You guys should definitely check them out. You should check me out, Saul V. Gomez.
Y'all can find me at I Know Caesar on IG. You can find me at airbear_IE on IG.
And you guys can find the podcast at IE and Friends on every social media network except for OnlyFans. That's coming soon. So stay tuned. So follow us and follow TGN Podcast Pit. Have a good day, guys.
Hey, Shariq LeMay.
Hey, what up, Jay Pinkay?
You already know what it is. You pulling up with me on Thursdays?
Oh, you already know Thursdays is lit.
What we doing?
We live on Limelight Live on TGN Talk.
You already know 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern for our East Coast folks. And hey, Calvin, why don't you join us sometimes?
Gee, if you think I'm ready.
All right, Calvin.
What a clown.
We'll see you then.
Hey, my name is Jasmine Sweets, and I'm so excited to be bringing you The Sweet Spot on TGN Vibes, Good Vibes, and R&B. Playing the old school, new school, and in between. I'm coming to you this summer. Stay tuned. Hey, my name is Jasmine Sweets, and I'm so excited to be bringing you The Sweet Spot on TGN Vibes, Good Vibes, and R&B. Playing the old school, new school, and in between. I'm coming to you this summer. Stay tuned.
Are you trying to buy a home, car, or make other investments and being discriminated against because of your credit score? At credit909.com, our
Because I'm like, why is that still there?
Because every time I open my Instagram, it's that video that I didn't close.
Hey, we are back. I'm your host, Jasmine Gates, and this is the New Black History Maker Show. We are at the Good News Network, and we are talking about being Black business owners. I am joined by Christi, who is the founder of Children Striving Together and the Power Legacy, Keith, founder of the Good News Network, and Davonte, founder of the Giants Den. So before we got off, we were talking about what we have on, basically. So like I was saying, I thought they was going to come in their T-shirts with logos on them, but they didn't. So Davonte came in a suit. I mean, not a suit, but he came in a blazer. He came dressed for success. He said, I want y'all to know. Man. Thank you, it is nice. You look good with sunglasses and everything.
Thank you. Ain't even no sun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like that color,
but I
man.
appreciate you showing up to my show like that. It shows how you view it. So
of course, I appreciate it. Yeah. So did you want me to expand on
Go ahead. What was your thought process of getting dressed for the show?
Yeah, so it's
as
not
it relates to being a business owner. Let's tie that in.
Yeah, so when we think about branding, like you're always branding.
For sure.
Whether if you're branding your business or you're branding your personal brand. And for what I do and how I move, my personal brand allows my business brand to be what it is, right? I'm not actually selling merch to anyone. You know what I mean? I don't need you to subscribe to what we do. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's uncomfortable for people to know what I do because then they feel it's this obligation to get an invitation to the space. You know what I mean? So I show up as I've showed up today. You know what I mean? Very reflecting me. I got on boots. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. I wear the boots. I got the jeans. I got a shirt that if I pull this off, I'll be straight comfortable. You know, so I got a t-shirt under here. It's a nice t-shirt, you know what I mean? But I got a t-shirt under here and the blazer. So I understand that people respond to me differently when I show up in different spaces in different ways. When I had a few meetings today, I also wore this for the meetings that I had today earlier. Not because I have to, but because I understand that I'm somebody who could do the casual thing pretty well. But when you're too casual in business, people start getting more casual with you in terms of how they do business with you. Until you get to this level of like, oh, I don't even got to say anything. We know what we're on. So I like to mix it up time to time. You know, I do the fly sneakers and and I'm comfortable in that. But the brand that I'm building into who I am as a man moving forward is not just this one-dimensional, individual, but I am able to, represent my personal brand that way. And I'm not selling that. That's my thing. Yeah. I'm not selling. Yeah. So, but I'm always connecting. And through me connecting with people, the Giants Den is born. Right. So I can just continue to connect with people that way. And then we can move to figuring out how this might make sense business-wise.
For sure. Yeah. You want to talk about how you got dressed or what was your mindset?
Yeah. So I was recently having some conversations just because when I'm with the youth, I'm about to dress like them with tennis shoes, jeans on and stuff like that. But I thought about it like one day I was out somewhere. I think I was at like Peaches and Cream, to be honest.
112 was there?
Huh?
Is that 112 was there?
Real funny. I was at that event and this guy came up to me and was like, "You're the Power Legacy." Literally, like no name, no nothing. It was just like, "You're the Power Legacy." And I was like, "What?" Like, he was like, "Yeah, I watch when you do your power hours, I watch that." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." Like, I guess a little, not fame, but like, wow, you noticed me. Okay, cool. Yeah. So with that, I'm like, dang, you just never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to see. And if I'm wearing tennis shoes and tights and a regular t-shirt, no one would ever think business owner, professional, or anything like that. So when I got the topic, now if you would have said we was talking about some frivolous stuff or whatever, then I probably would have wore whatever I was going to wear. Sure. But when you said business, I'm like, well, if we're going to talk about business, we have to look like what we represent because, or the type of business we represent, shall I say. Maybe if I was a lifestyle or apparel type, then maybe I would have on a t-shirt. But like he said, I don't sell shirts. I don't sell any type of clothing. I sell business. So that's why I
great
dress this
response.
way.
Great response.
I love that. And then Keith, you say you just You was doing other, well, you didn't know what we was talking
well,
about.
yeah, I mean, and it's crazy. The opposite for me. I usually wear a suit every day. I don't give a fuck what's going on.
I forgot about that.
So I switched my whole wardrobe up.
Yeah.
Because of those things that y'all had just mentioned. Because I went, and let me tell you right now, it changed everything.
Yeah.
The way people talk to me, the way people treat me, and now my persona is people expect me to have that on, and that's what I wanted. I wanted when you pop up in your image pops in a person's head. What do you have on? You know what I'm saying? And I thought about that. So I'm like, I wanted them
that's a bar.
Right. So I wanted them to see me as a businessman all the time. So that's why that became 90% of the time what I'm wearing. Now today, now I will say this. If I was going to a space that wasn't mine, I would have dressed differently, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to represent all of me. But now we're in a space where, I own. So now, I mean, but it's just different. It's like I'm kind of feel like I'm at home, essentially. So I'm dressed like I'm at home, one. But more so importantly, even when I'm at home, I usually dress up. But today, I'm in the process of moving studios, and I have to do some stuff at the old studio. So it's a dirty day, and so that's why I'm dressed that way. But even then, I'm always branded head to toe.
Yeah,
you're gonna get this work regardless.
For sure. And it's crazy because for me, I mean, everybody went and said they don't sell t-shirts, and I said t-shirts.
You can find them right now on
New Black History Magazine.com, or if you want to go to the mall, they're in the Fox Hills Mall too. You can go
Plug,
there.
not shameless.
Light flex.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, my collection or what I offer has grown so much that it's difficult for me not to be in my brand, so even if I'm doing, I don't know, I can put on a t-shirt with something that'll be dressed up, right, with some slacks or some pants that are cool or whatever, or I can be like this. But it's also important for me because the shirts say things. So I think that's also an important thing. I'm not just wearing a shirt that just has a little logo right here, and I'm like, oh, this is my brand. No, when I walk into a room, you see how big this is. This says "Watch Us Make History." You know what type of time I'm on. Or if it says I'm a new Black history maker, you know what type of time I'm on. So I'm coming in. Yes, the t-shirts are casual, but I'm making a statement.
It's a statement. It's an impact piece
for sure.
Right. So
get some shirts.
Yeah. But that's on the other side of it, because not being a business owner is not cookie cutter. What other people do for their business or for their business model may not be what works for me. And then I have the flyer pieces, right, where you can kind of dress it up, right? And then I have the hoodies and whatever. But I think you really have to just figure out where's your space. And then also there are some spaces where I'm not wearing it, where it's just okay, this is who I am. Do I have a marketing piece on me? For sure. On my keychain, I have a QR code on there, so
them pens.
I'm always ready.
The pen has changed everything.
Yeah,
the pens have changed everything.
Where'd you get the pens from? Right.
I'll shoot y'all a link. It's a guy who knows a guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'll make sure y'all get taken care of. But the pens have been totally that has changed everything, because now when I walk into a professional space, I can still wear the uniform and represent the brand, and people always compliment me
on your pen,
on my pen, because it's okay, you're always representing your business, So I would highly suggest anybody that is, have something for your business, because like I said, that was a hard. I was like, I don't want to wear my suit today because I can't. Right. I can't wear the brand. So now with the pens, and I have different kind of pens. I got 4 different variations of that pen. Based on
we need to meet this guy.
Absolutely right, right. Based
on the guy that knows the guy.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And that's based on the suit, based on the color of the suit, based on what kind of event I'm going to. I got an all gold one just in case I'm feeling godly. You know what I'm saying? And then
God did.
And then I got the color one if I want to make that impact, and I want people to really understand, if I'm the podcast pitch or something like that. So it's been totally super impactful for me in a way.
For sure, I love that. Let's go into the responsibility of being the business owner, because I don't think people talk about it enough. We talk about running the business, right, and the mechanics behind that, but then there's also responsibility on us as business owners to uphold some type of reputation, because we are the face of our businesses. So anybody can kind of grab that.
Yeah, I'll take that. So as small business owners, you know what I mean? I think it's one thing I'm understanding is there's still roles, right? I play CEO.
For sure.
You know what I mean? That's a role. And so like my job is to have a very clear vision around what's happening and then make sure that all resources are being delegated to supporting that vision. It's not to, and now when you're small and it's just you might be the one carrying out all the different functions, which that's where we've been. That's where we might be still be in certain areas of our business. Yeah. But that's not the goal. The goal ain't for me to become the best doer all of this marketing, recruiting, bookkeeping and financial stuff like taxes and administrative. At some point, as a business owner, as a CEO, the understanding is we need to get a department that's going to support that work. We need to get a dedicated person and team to support that work. I need to get the resources to make that possible. So I think that, you know, it is a role, and oftentimes people just, and not for the fakers, you know what I mean? Shout out to y'all for the slightly aspirational, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's cool to be like, oh, I'm gonna start my thing. I can pick up on the first 5 seconds because I'm really out here in these business streets.
Right.
You know what I mean? My family's counting on this.
Yeah.
I move different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think for myself, the role that I play as a CEO is to protect the vision, put a plan around said vision, and activate the vision, activate that plan. So that's was that your question?
Yeah. So let me follow up so we can get to, well, not get to the answer, but like continue the conversation. So what have been some things where you were like, no, I can't do that? Not because it was wrong, but because it would mess up or taint who you were presenting as or whatever.
Oh, is that individually?
Yeah.
Or like some business stuff I said no to?
No, I mean, individually, just something that you said and it wasn't wrong, but you were like, I need to protect the image of who I am.
Oh, it's aligned. When I talk about alignment earlier in the show, it's aligned. I'm not even entertaining conversations. That's not what I'm on.
For sure.
You know, I don't go places that's not, I get a lot of invitations to go places. Everything I do is intentional. If I show up, and if I don't show up, I didn't mean to be there. I could have been tired or had some family stuff, but you know, I only go into spaces that are aligned with my energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's been a number of no's to invitations that I had to give, and I know they probably didn't feel great, or like there's a lot of conversations that I won't participate in. I'll shut it down. It's hard to talk to me because we're gonna get to it. Yeah. We're gonna talk about some growth stuff. We're not about to talk about no other people. You know what I'm saying? We're not about to talk about oh man, it's hard out here, man. And what I'm gonna do is offer solutions if you tell me it's hard.
Sure.
So you tell me it's hard, we about to find out how to make it more feasible for you.
Yeah.
But then then I lose them. I lose them. So for me, the most difficult thing has been able to be comfortable losing people because I am having boundaries in terms of the man that I'm growing into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it's lonely in those moments because it's very isolating and it's just survivor's remorse or this guilt that might be associated with it. So I've had to be the one that was acting funny.
Yeah.
You know, black people hate when you're acting funny. Like I know them. I know somebody said I was acting funny. My mom told me.
I got the little business. Money.
No, I'm acting focused. You ain't experienced this. I'm acting like I know that I'm going to get it. And I feel like that's the mental and emotional adjustment that takes is something that I had to continuously say nah, I can't do that. I know what this look like. Nah, I can't entertain. I know what this feel like. So for me, that's been the things that I had to kind of battle with in terms of protecting my brand. And now and then people come back around like, man, I love what you're doing. I see how you. I had to say no though. Yeah. Do you see that? You know what I mean? I had to develop my mindset to a point where I was more influential on other folks than they were on me. You're gonna adapt to my environment, I'm gonna adapt to yours.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because my impact on people really started changing. I mean, of course the brand was growing and everything has kind of happened cohesively, but then I started traveling too, right? So people that didn't necessarily grab a hold to the van, to the brand, they saw me traveling. Everybody see you in Egypt, they oh, what you doing? People see me with I'm a new Black History Maker shirt on. They may not turn as much, but they see you on a camel in front of the pyramids. They're I know what that is. You must be doing something because you there.
Yeah.
So when that started happening, I remember a moment where I used to tell people and I think we've all done it, but oh, I want to be like you, or I'm trying to get like you, or whatever. And I remember saying that to somebody, and I was like, girl, you just came back from a 40-day trip in Africa. You are not trying to be like that person. And that day I stopped saying it. And I was just like, I'm not trying to make you feel good for whatever it is that you're doing, but like my words have power. I'm not trying to be like you. Like there was a benchmark that you were at. I've passed that. And I literally, like, it's not in my language anymore because it's like, no, I'm different. Like, I had to really realize that.
That's why we want to celebrate small wins no more.
Yeah.
You know, we done that already.
And that's, I think, something that we have to, as people that are moving and stuff, and especially those, like, we're still around people who don't have ambition, right? Or who are trying to start businesses or started businesses before us and are still trying to figure it out and get it together. And it's like, no, we've proven to, like, be a little successful in what we doing.
Man, hey, and there's no, even with like business and starting a business, like if you ain't making no money, you ain't got no business. Right. If you ain't got no system, you ain't got no business. Yeah. Business and systems are hand in hand. So like wanting to be like you, I understand we friends. So I know like you want to be the highest version of you.
Yeah.
I'm chasing me. I'm chasing the version of me that's out there. I see me very clearly. You know what I'm saying? I'm running after that. You know what I mean? And that's why it's not no diss to nobody. Like you said, like I see what you're doing, but yeah, I'm trying to like, I'm on me. You know what I mean? So it's really no slide to nobody.
At
you know?
all.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that y'all get it together and do what you're supposed to be doing. But like, know that, you know, this is who I'm looking at on my side. You know, like I can always look over Christi, Keith, Davonte, and be like, oh no, like I'm seeing Christi doing lives, right? Keith opened up a studio in Texas. Like, oh, okay, all right, dude. Like, we gonna keep moving. You showing us the website, like it's levels, you know, like you looking to the side and seeing it, but
no MBAs here. Nobody got an MBA, I don't believe, right? Yeah, I got an AA from West LA College.
I got an MA, but I ain't got the B.
No.
And I think you just have to. It's also about being serious with what you're trying to do. Like clearly, we're all serious, but I remember I had a conversation where I used to, when I got laid off my job in 2019, that's when the Power Legacy came. So that's another reason why I was like, okay, I gotta do this. Nobody's gonna ever lay me off. It's not because I'm lazy. It's just because I really need to own what I want to own. But I was driving Lyft and doing the Uber thing and all of that. And I felt like every time I needed money, I was out here chasing like, okay, well, shoot, if I drive Lyft for this many hours, I can get this much money, which ain't nothing, but I can get this much money. And then it's like, dang, you're not even putting all of that into your business. You over here talking about you want to do this and you want to do that, but you got this amazing business that's sitting. So what are you doing? If I put all of that energy into my business that I'm putting into Lyft or Instacart or DoorDash or whatever else that it is that I'm doing, then yes, I will be. And I'm not going to say like the Jay-Z's because we always compare ourselves to somebody that's on the hierarchy that we do look up to. But no, I'm gonna be like the greatest version of Christi. So I think a lot of people out here, they want to start businesses, but they do not know the ins and outs of what really goes into it because they just see the surface of it. Like we all probably didn't take some losses in our business. You probably didn't invested in something, invested in somebody that was going to help you get a better investment. And then what happened? So it's like, I think that people that are wanting to go into business, like you guys say, brain dump that stuff out, figure out like what it is you really, really want to do and see if it makes sense. Read it back to yourself out loud. And sometimes it's going to sound like, what was I talking about? But I think, man, sometimes people just be talking like how he just said, somebody could walk in the room, they could be talking for 5 seconds and he can just sniff that out. People be out here talking.
Yeah, and I always say, like, if you don't want to work for nobody, then don't be an entrepreneur, don't be a business owner.
Yeah.
Because the entrepreneur business owner work for everybody.
Yep.
So, you know, that's a common misconception of people not understanding what it actually means to be a business owner or an entrepreneur. Because there are two different, like Tay said, there are two different between, because kind of owning a business is like owning a job. You know, essentially an entrepreneur does a lot of things. Entrepreneur is just not like, oh, that's a business owner. So I had to realize, okay, just because I'm operating this particular business doesn't make me an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? If your dad handed you down a business, that make you an entrepreneur?
Right.
No, that make you the owner of the business. You know?
Right.
So entrepreneur, you know, you look at somebody, we say Jay-Z, or we look at like Elon Musk. They're entrepreneurs because they're spreading themselves out multiple ways to build, you know, and that's what I started realizing I had to become, which is why I said, okay, I need to go beyond what I'm doing. I need to go into comedy. I need to go into I need to get in my Russell Simmons
You pretty
bag.
funny too, though.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. I got jokes here and there.
Are
you
you
know what I'm
doing
saying?
stand up or you're
I'm
running?
not doing stand up.
Right.
I'm not. But
so let's talk about that a little bit. When you say going into comedy, he's not saying being a comedian. But
No.
You're talking. What are you talking about?
Well, it's industry. See, there's always minors and then there's people who mind the minors. You know what I mean? And I always look at it from a different perspective. And the reason why I can impact the comedy industry, which is crazy, not being a comedian, because every industry is the same. It's people that want to be entertained. And how can you do it? Because I'm not a comedian, I have such a perspective that they don't have because I'm not in the picture. I'm outside of it.
Right.
So I come into it with my experience of understanding entertainment. Now, just because you're a comedian don't mean you understand people. You know what I mean? Don't mean you understand business and industry. There's a lot of comedians, but a lot of people, comedians are not putting on their own productions often. You know, some are who understand it. So, you know, understand that aspect. Like, okay, I can impact this industry the same way I impact the other industries. You know what I mean? It's the same type of situation, just a different format. It's like I could start a radio station. It could be country music. It could be Spanish. It doesn't matter because the infrastructure is the same. All that I'm changing is the color of the car. You know, it doesn't matter. You know. So
I wanted to add one of the things that we talk with. The language we've been using is business owners, right? This business owner, if you're a business owner, you're a business owner. Through just right now, I recognize like, oh, I don't identify as a business owner.
I just did the same thing.
I'm building a company. I'm building an organization. I am not trying to do transactions. You know what I mean? Like there's no amount of transactions that'll make the model in which I'm pursuing successful. Yeah. It's an entire brand. It's a place where it will be here for the next 100 years. So the way that I move has to be that way. Company builders are thinking that way. And I think we don't talk enough about owning companies.
Yeah.
Because companies employ folks. You know what I mean? Companies help people to take care of their families. And companies are bigger than the person who sits in the seat. Like you said, talking about selling your thing. The CEO changes. I don't want to be the CEO all the time. Or I want to build a company that has a systematic approach to our mission and vision that we can interchange folks as we need to. But that's the vision. And then in our culture, because it's not something that's so regular, you know, we come from solopreneurs. We come from a lot of times where grandpa had two lawnmowers in the back of the truck. And on the weekends, him and your uncles and your dad went to go mow lawns. And that was his business. He did well. He took care of the house with that. But that's literally, he's a business owner. He's not trying to build a company.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? We saw the mom and pop shops a lot and all those things. So I respect those things. And I understand that is what a lot of people's aspirations are for a number of reasons. But I also see some other stuff. I saw them doing on the highest levels. I worked in these organizations. I was at the galas. You feel me? I've flew out to the conferences. I'm like, this is how it goes. I was a cog in the wheel. Not that it was a bad situation, but I was a part of the machine. I think I'm smart enough to build my own machine. And that's about good and support and love and all those things. But business owners, I would say I would challenge for myself. I want to build a company.
Yeah. And it's a culture too. Because I think essentially all of us, like, you know, no shade to anybody else, but that's doing something different. But you have people maybe selling candles or like shea butter or whatever, or, you know, whatever, like doing those things compared to the Giants Den, Good News, New Black History Makers, Children Striving Together. Those are essentially like cultures, you know, so it's like things that can be around for 100 years, things that can exist, you know, throughout generations or whatever. And I think that's kind of the difference with it. It's like, yes, our passions have been able to put money in our pockets, but then also like we're trying to change some things. Like our businesses exist to create a dent in the world. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the only way to survive. You got to offer something that's either not there or you have to offer something that's better. I choose to not look at being better, and I take the approach of Steve Jobs and like, okay, what's different? What's missing? You know, I use comedy for another example. The problem I seen or the issue I seen was that all the comedy shows were in comedy clubs. Period. The end. You know, oh, there's nobody doing anything that's different than that. It's always comedy clubs. You look at Tiny Desk. Why'd they blow up? Because they were doing it. So I said, okay, I look at Tiny Desk, look at the comedy industry. I can create the Tiny Desk of comedy. You know what I'm saying? Then nobody's doing it. I talked to various comedians, nobody doing it. Also, I want to open up a comedy radio station. So I'm looking at all these things to kind of like flow together. So I would say, I know we gotta go to break here, but most important for me, and I don't know if I'm sharing too much, but I'm always like 4 or 5 ideas ahead. So like I never trip if one idea don't work, because I got 4 more and I'm about to go to work on. So you know, but yeah, I just wanted to share that because I think that's important for business owner entrepreneurs to look at. Like, okay, you have to create something it don't have to be brand new, but you got to just find something that's not there and then fill that gap. You know what I mean? So
a lot of people talk about finding a need or be the answer, right? Like find something that you can be a solution to, and then you operate in it. And I think like we've been able to do that, like, and that's why our businesses are, here. And
man, listen, I got some. I'm gonna share this with y'all in the world. This is a problem that nobody really understands, right? Let me say in my field, be a student, right? I look at RSS fees. If you're in the podcasting industry, you heard of it, you've seen it. What is an RSS fee, right? And the biggest problem is like people don't know how to create them or own them themselves. So they got to go to the servers, the server provided for, and like this could be speaking Japanese to people, but it's a problem in the industry. And I see a few people have solved it, but nobody that's Black has solved it. So nobody has offered that to the Black community. So right now I'm trying to create a server that does that. And I'm working with one of my partners, Bruce, who's like a mechanical guru.
Bruce.
And I mean, we're so far along right now, and we've been working on this for like maybe a month and a half, that we actually now have created our own RSS feed. So we can be completely independent from any server in the world.
That's huge, bro.
I mean, and it's huge, but people don't know it yet. People don't even know that yet.
Push the button. Push the button.
People don't even know that yet. And so what the solution we're bringing is, okay, now we can offer podcasts like yourself an opportunity to own your own RSS feed. You don't have to go to one of these servers. So once again, problem, solution.
Yeah.
Business.
Yeah. And Keith is good for that. Like being able to find where there isn't something and being able to like provide his services or put your mind to that and like create a thing. And it's like, oh, Keith is now the solution that we didn't even know we needed it. But like now people is like flying to Keith like, oh yeah, I need you to do this. But like he's always been that guy,
I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah,
I know we got like 20 seconds. So in my 20 seconds, I would say that it's important to identify problems, but a lot of people don't do the research to understand the problems in which they were working in. And as a visionary, as a leader of a company, you need to understand the market in which you're working in so that you can paint the story and tell a story through that. So I'm out.
For sure. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. Stick with us.
Perfect timing. You got it.
So I'm out.
For sure. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. Stick with us.
Perfect time.
So this is Rich with the Brown Skin Investors on our podcast, Brown Wealth Radio, where we reach and teach nuestra gente on financial literacy, exclusively on TGN Latinx on the Good News Network, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific, to be specific.
Are you looking for the best barbershop experience? Then the Locker Room Barbershop is the place for you. Check them out at their new location, located at 16900 Lakewood Boulevard, Unit 204 in Bellflower, California. If you would like to book an appointment, you can check them out at thelockerroom05.com or on Instagram at The Locker Room Barbershop LLC. Feel free to call the number 562-202-9602. Again, that phone number is 562-202-9602. Can't wait to see you at the Locker Room Barbershop.
Hey, my name is Jasmine Sweets, and I'm so excited to be bringing you the Sweet Spot on TGN Vibes, Good Vibes, and R&B. Playing the old school, new school, and in between. I'm coming to you this summer. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, it's the Primos Chidos.
Hopefully you're enjoying this show, but if it sucks, be sure to check out our show, live Thursdays at 12.
Yeah, join me and my sister and basically my brother as we discuss everything from immigration to ejaculation.
If that sounds interesting, then we're the show for you.
Warning, the following podcast features discussion of sensitive topics, graphic content, and uncensored stupidity. Unless otherwise stated, the featured content is not discussed by professionals or experts. TGN and the Primos Chidos must advise against taking anything said on this program too seriously. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yo, this is Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, and even though they extra as hell, check out Never Not Extra on TGN Network.
That's right.
Y'all gotta have notes, cue cards, teleprompter.
Hey there, business owners. Don't miss our limited time offer. Advertise on the Good News Radio as low as $2 per commercial slot. That's right. Promote your business up to 4 times a day, every day for a month on live radio. If you're interested, email us at contact@tgnradio.net. Once again, that's contact@tgnradio.net.
Hey, what's up, business owners? Are you looking to take your business a step forward? Are you looking for more people to know what you have to offer? You are in luck. The Good News Radio has a special deal for you right now. You can get a commercial slot 4 times a day, every day for a month. If you are interested, email contact@tgnradio.net for more information.
You're seriously watching porn by yourself? Oh, wait, that's the wrong script. Oh, that's right. I'm here to talk about the Primos Chidos radio show, live every Thursday at 12 from the TGN.
That's what the podcast became about. You know, creating that.
What's up, y'all? We are back. I'm your host, Jasmine Gates, and this is the new Black History Maker show. Shout out. That is Davonte. We are talking about, are we Black business owners, Black culture creators, company builders?
On break.
Go ahead.
Oh, I said on break because we kept talking to the break, and this energy is just crazy because this is almost like a business owner support group right here. You know what I mean? A business owner support group, but just the understanding of Keith, before we went on break, Keith, you talked about comedy and the industry of comedy and how these are going to actually tie to the comedy station. That's strategy. That's like it's not. We're just not doing this to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like doing this, and this is what the part that like triggered me on our break. You know what I'm saying? When you said you felt that, like people ain't thinking. They just taking their resources. They doing hand over fist, selling whatever little product they got, and that's the goal to keep selling these little products. You know what I mean? But there's like, why? How many do we need to sell, and why do we need to? Why do we need to achieve these goals?
Right.
Why are we putting money and energy into this event or into these merchandise? Like, what does this tie to the bigger picture?
Yeah.
And nobody's even thinking about it. And that's why I say it's people who just out here taking chances and just think that it's so easy a caveman can do it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's I'll say 2 things. One, there's no such thing as Black business. I have to learn that. It's just business. It's just business. When you apply for a loan or whatever, all that, it's just business. What your business look like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's other things, of course, you may get more funding because you're Black or white. But when it comes down to just conducting the business, there's no such thing as Black business. So when we say I'm opening up a Black business, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, are you opening up a business or not? Because you telling me Black, you telling me it's Black owned. Okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But now, are you trying to give me an expectation or what's happening? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Are you only serving? Or is your product? If I wanted to buy if you open a Black business center, candles, right? I don't know why the candles. I don't know anybody who sells candles.
Hey,
and shout out to everybody who does. I'm not thinking about that. All right, let's say
Mr. Butter, by the way, started out selling candles owner of the Lip Bar.
This is definitely not about the candles.
Oh,
folks.
okay.
Yeah.
Let's say. All right, man, y'all just threw me off my joint. Let's say you selling shoes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot my point because the candle lab. So I'm gonna go ahead and digress.
But you were saying, you were saying.
I brought up there's no such thing as Black business.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
If I am selling candles, shoes, toothpaste, am I only selling this to Black people? Because if I am only selling to Black people, then I just shrink the market like crazy.
So,
but if I am right, so I think we need to be careful when we're like so this is the thing with business. Like, you know what I mean? I came up, my parents are street entrepreneurs, you know what I mean? Like I'm very familiar with the landscape of the city and like how all this shit. So let's use like the street stuff. You know what I mean? Like if you just selling shit with no goal and no plan, and you're not putting it into no actionable thing, and then you're saying that I'm only selling this to Black people. The branding around it, the branding around what you build needs to be aligned to the end goal. So if the branding is, all right, we selling toothpaste. I mean, that's the shit. I want to sell toothpaste. I'm not in toothpaste to save the whales. I'm not in toothpaste to be to do my advocacy work. Right. I'm not in toothpaste. I'm in toothpaste to get this money and sell this toothpaste. Right. Everybody buying, come get it. But if I'm like so gung ho on like I'm a Black owned business, Black business, I don't give. Hey, it's gonna be that, and it's gonna be reflected in the culture of how we run this place.
But it won't be businesses.
Who?
Asians. They run more black businesses than anybody.
It's because,
am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, but it is because people. I don't mean any harm when I say this, but the way people think in their mindsets is so minute to me. Like everything is just so trendy. So you got a black business. Now this person want to have a black business, and now I got a black business. Oh, I'm black, so I got a black business. But they don't even understand what that even means when they even say it. Even right now, how everybody wants to get the women minority owned businesses so that you can get the contracts with the city and with the government and all of that. People want to get it because you did it and you got $100,000. So now I need to go get that so I can get $100,000 too. But I don't understand what goes into that, why, how I got it, why I need it, what it represents after that, because I only saw $100,000. I think that's what's wrong. That is one thing that is wrong. People are just kind of doing this ripple effect of I'm trying to do this because monkey see, monkey do, but they're not trying to like really understand. Like when Keith was just saying about the not celebrating small wins or whatever, I feel like when I go into a room and I'm around other people that are doing the things that we are doing, I'm that person that's like, let me hear what you have to say so that I can get it in a different perspective. And immediately I can change because I'm like, wow, that makes sense. I never thought about that. I never heard it that way. So now, I'm thinking we both were saying it at the same time. When Keith said what he said about business, we were like, oh, wait, I think we think about our business in the wrong way. It's nothing wrong with the fact that we just thought of that in the moment because we're always trying to grow and do more than what people that's not really on that wavelength. You're going to see it. Their business is going to last a year. Not trying to be mean, but. And
there's the aspect of like, how come there could be, I'm not saying it, but like paper bags. Right, it's a paper bag you use, plastic. How many people use plastic bag? What black person is making plastic bags? And I say that to bring what you said. Black people want to do what's trendy a lot, and it's a whole lot of things that make money. Like cow boo boo make money. It's one of the biggest money making manure. It's one of the biggest money makers of all time. But it ain't cool though. Right. You know what I'm saying? If we look at the top 5 industries for black business entrepreneurs, it's gonna be the same sheesh. You know what I'm saying? We got food, we got clothing, we got music. What else? I don't know. Maybe every now and then you get some, whatever. It's the same. Every time it's the same stuff.
When I decided to pursue full-time, living the life of where I own my time and I'm in control of who I work with, which is the biggest reasons that I am here. You know what I'm saying? I want to choose what I do professionally. I don't want y'all to go get nobody now. Let's say we working together and I got this person. None of that. My family trusts me. Yeah. I am married. And my daughter is 12. I got a baby on the way. Oh, we 10 weeks right now.
How you gonna do us like that in the middle of a podcast?
Oh my God, I love the green. Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. I'm super excited, yo. It's a little green. Hey, green. So I kind of dropped that on y'all right there. Yeah, so my family trusts me. I ain't just like no little kid out here playing around. This is my best friend since high school. He got a whole family. Yeah. Y'all got responsibilities and families. Like this is so to put this time and effort into something, you can't be playing with it. I can't be playing with it. I gotta say, well, I gotta learn those things I don't know. Yeah. So what you pointed out was you gotta be a student. You gotta be a student. Yeah. I gotta learn what to do because am I playing? Right. You know what I'm saying? So the student part of being a company builder, a business owner, an entrepreneur is essential. You have to block out time to learn. Yeah. Every day I learn. Yeah. Every day. I don't listen to music all day. I'm not having conversation. At some point, it's some type of educational something. And if I'm working in my office, guess what's on? I got Earn Your Leisure on. I got, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I got things on, even interviews. I'm learning from people's interviews. I'm doing data research. They getting that money. Oh, how they getting that money? 100,000. All right, cool. Go down this rabbit hole. What companies actually sponsor companies like mine? Which donors are out there that give to organizations like mine? That shit is public. Yep. Where do I find it? I don't know. Google know. God know. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and
God did.
Yeah. Now you look and you say, oh snap, this company actually sponsors the type of work that I'm doing or the type of moment I'm on. All right, let me get a list of them. Okay, I'm gonna hit them up. Yep. How? You got the contacts, but what you gonna send them? Right. What you sending them, is it trash? Have
What
you
it
got it
look
looked
like.
over?
Yes.
Right. So this is the learning part. Like we just don't know this stuff. But if you don't got a commitment to learning what you don't know, then you gonna have a really brief stay.
Go ahead.
No, I said me and Davonte was talking about this, like, like, cause we be in rooms all the time, and it'd be like, oh, we got these black business owner rooms, and I get in there, I'm like, I'm the only real mother in here. Real talk, like, I'm not even flexing, but it's just
everything.
Like, man, like what y'all. So like, you ain't even like, okay, like, I get to a room and somebody, and we go to, like, I'm working with Chase a lot, and the first thing they ask is, who got 2 years of business taxes? Half the room is like,
no, because they don't even have a
who
real
got an EIN number.
Right. But a real EIN number. Not you just got it because you thought you was gonna do a business 5 years ago. No.
And is it active?
Right.
Are you paid up on your taxes?
If I go to Secretary of State right now and pull y'all up,
Are you suspended?
Are you suspended?
Are you there?
Did you pay your 800? You know what I'm saying? If you LLC or y'all got different situations. I need to talk to you about that anyway. But but yeah, it's all this education around being a business. It's all this education around starting an LLC. And I recommend not doing it for anybody that's listening right now. Do not start a business. Go get you a job that's in the field that you want to start a business in.
Yes.
First, go get a job.
Say it again.
Go get a paid education. Go get a job in the field that you want to start a business in.
Yes.
People think I just started like this, but no, let's not forget, I went and got a job. First, I worked for free at an independent radio station. And then I went and got a job at the front door, just as a radio station, so I can learn how the industry worked. When I learned how the industry worked, that allowed me to get to where I'm at today. Is because I got that paid education.
But they feel like they gotta be at the top. Like like how you said, go do it. No, they like, nope, it gotta be mine, gotta be my own, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, like I was in the nonprofit sector before I even realized I was in it, volunteering all the time for free. And I'm like,
the same things I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
These, what's not sexy? Spreadsheets.
They're not.
Nothing
not
sexy.
Excel
taxes
and all of that is
none of that is sexy. But I was doing it for them.
Yeah.
You sure was.
I was literally, I was churning in and out. I was creating great culture for these organizations. I was building teams where they loved each other.
Hey, can I answer that for you? What up? Because I gotta edify you real quick, man. Like, let me tell you, like, so I never really worked with nonprofit organizations from a business perspective, right? But I know he has. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, like, I'm working, I'm trying to get these deals. I'm working. I call Tay and I'm like, like, how do I do this? You know what I mean? And because of his expertise at his job, he was able to share that with me as a business entrepreneur, literally affected. And because of his advice, I got a bag. Like, no bullshit, no cut. But that's because of his work experience and what he's doing now.
Yeah.
But if he didn't go get that education, he wouldn't be able to share it with me.
Right.
I would have walked away from $1,100-$1,200. You know what I'm saying? But because of what he went through, I was able to leverage even his experience. Yeah. So, go get that paid education because I didn't get that. He did. I'm lucky enough to have such a friend who got that paid education. You know what I mean?
Can you clarify what paid education is?
Paid education
because some people thinking what I think
is working in a field, in an industry that you want to become, I guess, you want to grow in. So if you want to be a radio personality, then you need to get into the radio industry.
Yeah.
If you want to start, even let's say, I'm going to say something like Jazz, you want to start an apparel company. Now, she didn't necessarily take this route, but go work at an apparel factory if you need a job in the meantime. Like, why are you working at the school, bro? If you want to be in the music industry, go get a job. Go get a job at the being assistant.
Stop letting entrepreneurs tell you that 9-to-5s are whack because that's all we hear now. You better get rid of that 9-to-5.
But you're not built to
you have to
be a business owner.
How
either,
else? So who gonna support that? Who gonna pay for that to start it up?
But I think what I will say, I would say this: go get a job in where you're interested because you're wasting time.
Yes.
If you're not.
When you go to work, you only can go to the better your tools, the better the work.
Yeah.
So I got skills when I was my former, I got all the skills. I know how to team build with my eyes closed. I can create culture. We got, if I say, respond to this, Keith, fee 5,
4 5,
1 2 3,
4 5 6,
7 8 9.
Right. That's culture. That's culture. That's call and response. That's intentional.
We never practiced that second one. I just knew.
Yeah. So like,
I don't know.
So I think that it's really, you can't be dumb. We are in a very PC culture. People don't like to say stuff is stupid or dumb. And I know that's not nice language, all that. But you literally can't just have nothing in your head. You got to have some skills.
Yeah.
You got to have a heart and you got to develop skills. You ain't got to have them at the beginning. You can have a heart and the ambition to learn the skill.
You can get them from anywhere. Yeah. You can, and that was something for me growing up playing basketball, they taught us before we got into the real world, they taught us everything that we were learning on that court would translate once we became adults. So my mind was always open to, wow, I can learn something here that's going to benefit me later.
Well, so let me ask this though. And this is the big thing that most people not want to do. Take less money.
Well, shit, when you
know what I'm saying?
You said they
when
won't
you go from making 100,000 to 0,000?
Right. But this is what I'm saying. Like, listen, like if you making, let's say you're making 100,000 at the job that your current 9 to 5 that you don't like. You're doing real estate, right? You don't like it, but you're making 100,000.
Yeah.
Now you got an opportunity to you want to be in the music. You want to be a music manager. Now somebody said, well, you could be my assistant and you can make 40,000. Most people said, nope, I'm not going to do that because it's a pay cut. But they not willing. That's the sacrifice that's required. So most people are not willing to sacrifice their comfort. And the number one thing that people are not willing to sacrifice is making less money. I'll use that as an example because at the time I was substitute teaching while I was building this, while I was working at the radio station. And on days I worked at the radio station, I would make $60 versus $150 at the school a day. So I'm taking, a $90 cut daily to come here. So the sacrifice for me was like, okay, well, shit, I can't come this motherfucker every day and take that L, but I'm taking that L twice a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was just me being smart about realizing I just have to take a cut. I'm gonna have to take less money, but what I was getting in return was so much more.
Yeah.
So you know.
And I want to share. So I was talking to you about it before we got on, but with my process right now, so I've shown myself to be good at marketing or branding or whatever. Like if you go on the New Black History Maker page, you go on my website, all of that is us. I mean, it's me. I created that. So I had to get to a place where I was like, I'm sitting on this gold mine. I know this is a gold mine, but like I need something else, somebody that is done what I'm doing or close to what I'm doing that I can kind of like sit under. And I couldn't articulate that at first. But I was just like, okay, I need to, it has to be something else that I can do, not taking me out of New Black History Makers, but something that can just add to what I'm doing and give me some type of structure. So I took a marketing directing job. And that's what I'm doing now, basically doing what I can do in my sleep, what I've proven to do for the past 4 years for my business. I'm doing it for somebody who's a lot further in advance, has a lot more money than I do, a lot more resources. So now I'm in the room, not just as a marketing director, but I'm in the room as the founder of New Black History Makers
and a student.
Well. Yeah. Right. So I'm learning their structure there.
There's relationship building.
Right. And yes, you talked about a pay cut. Did it cut into my time? Yes. But then I have to go in and be very strategic with the fact that you're not going to do more for this company than you've done for New Black History Makers.
Right.
So everything that I do for them, everything that I'm putting into there, every strategy that I'm like, oh, that works. Oh no. Okay. How can I make that work for New Black History Makers? If I'm posting on New Black History Makers too. There's no more that I'm doing for that company here. I'm getting paid to do it, but that was something that I had to notice in myself. Like people might look at me and be like, no, you shouldn't have did that. But it was like, no, I had to realize in myself, there was something else that I needed.
There's something that stands out into that too, because it's a part of that is mentorship too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that is on here. I'm imagine. So I'm going to say that person may be acting in a mentor capacity as well, right? Where somebody you can learn from, whether directly or indirectly. Sure. Keith, you got a mentor down in Dallas, and that changed the game. I just came back from Brooklyn. Right. When I'm out there, I'm in a field where I don't know nobody who's on this. I'm like, it's just me out here. You know what I'm saying? I do the research though. It ain't just me out here. There's actually a place in Brooklyn called the Gentleman's Factory that has 900 paid members, and they own their own buildings, and they're really tapped into the city, and they have millionaires, billionaires, and everything in between in terms of Black male professionals in their space. Hit my guy up on Instagram one day before I hit the CEO up on Instagram. I know I'm about to fly to Brooklyn. I'm like, all right, I need a mentor. I'm talking to Keith. I need a mentor. But damn, okay. Once I identify this, I spend the next week revamping everything on my social media to make sure once I hit them up, they come and click this, and it's going to be aligned to what I'm on. He got back to me and was like, oh, let's do lunch when you get here. This was years ago. You know what I mean? This is a couple years ago. We go to one of his members' restaurants. When I get there, I pay for the lunch. You know, of course, that's cause if you ain't never thought, I pay for the lunch. That's off the rip. No matter what they order. You know what I'm saying? But I'm getting $1 million worth of game. I come back home, I implement said game. I go back to Brooklyn last week. I pull up on, hey, I'm in town. I'm not talking to him all the time. You know what I mean? I'm gonna implement what we talked about. I'm gonna make sure you know that I appreciate that. I pull back up. We sit down, we have a beer in a space. He give me $5 million worth of game. I shut up. I got my notes out. I'm listening. Mentorship is really important when you're out here on your own. So whether it comes through like a paid opportunity or just somebody that's offering that, but if you recognize this person knows more than me in this area, they've been more successful with me in this area, I'm going to shut up. They might say some stuff that you already know, but you're going to catch some nuggets of stuff you don't know. So yeah, shout out to you having this role, but also that mentorship connection.
Right. And it's compartmentalizing it as well, because I know that they're not doing everything that I'm doing, right? Like not in that sense, but as far as tapping into the Black community and trying to grab a hold to the younger generation, that is what they're doing. And that's something that I want to do. So it's something where it's like, no, you're not my life mentor. Like I think sometimes we're looking for a mentor that can just guide us through every aspect of life. And it's like, no, that's not it. But you are at a space that I wish to be at. And then you have to look at yourself. Like I think me and you were on the phone and you had asked me something and I go, yeah, I need to stop playing around and really take things serious. And you were like, what's crazy is a lot of people would look at me and say that I wasn't playing around. They would say that I'm taking it serious. So sometimes you have to look at yourself and say, well, what more can I do to add to this business, or what more can I do to add to what I have going on? So
and that's what it is. I heard some on Instagram, they say like a person who works hard or work as hard as they can and still question if they even working hard enough. You know what I'm saying? And that's the mindset that we are in. You know, it's the progressive mindset. That's all it is. So, you know, I mean, even with that, you know, the whole mentorship and looking for them, that's a sense of putting your ego to the side and recognizing that you need help, but the right kind of help. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody can't sit and mentor you.
Right.
You know, and then when you find that, you cultivate the relationship. Like Davonte just did by going to dinner. Like I did. I flew out to Dallas and just went to one of his training, and the people he introduced me to, and then you end up finding like if somebody's your mentor older than you, a lot of times they can be, you know, you might end up being a successor, or they might pass a lot of stuff down to you. Or in my case, he became my business partner now.
Word up.
Especially the ones that are tired and they're like, man, I've been waiting for somebody to come along because I don't want to do this anymore. But what you said as far as everyone can be your mentor, that is a real thing. Like I think now people hear the word mentor and anyone that looks like they know a little bit, they want to gravitate to, but you can't do that because you got to do your own research and interview them in your own way to make sure. Because what if they do know way more than you and they can get you back, but the energy is just, I don't know, something about their livelihood. I feel like you got to connect somewhere as well. So like, I just see so many people like, yeah, this person is my mentor. And I'm like,
and it's like, oh, they your mentor.
What they do?
And
what they do?
Age group.
So there's this thing called the mentor led, you know what I mean, or leadership led.
Yeah.
If you're leading, you only can lead them to where you at. You can't lead them past.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at different levels, it's gonna cause different things. I am not an easy person to mentor because I'm critical of the information I put into my head. You know what I mean? So that means if I'm calling you mentor, that you own right now. But at 5 years ago, I would have had a different expectation. Their age doesn't play a role if somebody's in a mentorship position. You know, people are like, oh, I'm older than you. Let me tell you how this goes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, your experience and your ability to convey that experience to help. And on a professional side, yes, business mentor relationships should become business relationships.
If done correctly. Because some people are just advisors. You got to understand the difference between that.
Which could be lucrative for them too.
Yeah. You know, so some people just got good advice because they have good foresight, or they got good business acumen, but that don't mean that they're gonna mentor you. You know what I mean? They just have a good perspective on what's maybe happening right now. You know, so it's important to understand that. And then also some mentors, you outgrow it. You know, So Social was definitely 100% my mentor and teach me how to build an independent radio station. You know, and I always give him that, like, yo, this is my mentor when I first started. You know, currently, no, he's not my mentor in this game because I've superseded what he had. But he got me to that point. Without his mentorship, I wouldn't even got to that level at where I started. So it's important to understand when your mentors is like, okay, you know, I gotta thank you for your mentorship up to like you said, where you are.
Right.
I gotta,
and
go
giving
to the next
that
level.
honor too. And I think also just like knowing who you are as a person. Like you have to know who you are if you're trying to go into business or create this culture or go into running a company. Like I think that's the most important part, because if you don't know who you are, then how are you going to be able to tell anybody about anything else?
Yeah.
And I think especially like talk about my brand, the new Black History Maker, right? Like the Giants, the Good News, like, you know, what you have going on with Children Striving Together, like those all come from like internal places. And then I know me, you know, being a more like religious person, right? That mentorship has to be there as well for there to be balance, right? And if you're not, then of course you're not going to look to a pastor for some type of guidance, but you have to know that, you know, just because the pastor is coming to you, that's not your belief system. You need to know where to go and where to pivot. But I think me learning myself and being like, that's literally where the business has grown from. Like, I'm the new Black History Maker before anybody else is. Absolutely. Like, I embody that before anybody puts on a shirt, you know? So, but I know me, you know, and that's why the business is able to just like flow through me, you know? But it's
there's also a thing of, you know, we talked about wanting to do the sexy things in terms of business. People get the shiny parts of it. Also, I've been guilty of it. I'm sure I think, all of us may have been guilty of it at a point. And that's just been such a creative, and that's been such a artist, and that's been such an entrepreneur in terms of thinking about the thing. Oh, the event gonna be crazy. Oh, the shirt design about to be wild. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the new logo gonna go. Oh, they gonna. But that business side is usually a lot of people deflect and try to stay on the like, oh yeah, I got this going on. You literally only looking at one side. We can't only be, especially when it's just you. Or you and another person, you just can't be all talent. Yeah. You just can't be all shine.
Show in this business.
Yeah, it's the show and it's the business. And from us, like with the Giants, then like we could put on 1 million events and we can have all the pictures and all that stuff. I'm not interested, and I can't exist in that world all day. Right. You got to be working in your business and on your business. And if you're always working in your business, then when are you working on your business? Yeah. And in the business is the fun shit a lot of times. You know what I mean? Going to the events and getting the credit. Oh, I see you all that. But like the on the business part, I'm not really a spreadsheet guy. I'm not really a data like driven guy. I'm not, but the business requires that the CEO of said business is. So you either gonna get somebody in here to do that, or you gonna, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's that balance. Like you said, your new Black History Maker, like first and foremost, like I represent the type of man I want in the den. Right. All day.
Right. Real quick.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap up on
35 seconds.
Yeah, on the show that's airing live, and then we'll wrap up the conversation on the YouTube. But for those of y'all listening on the show, definitely come back to StreamYard and come listen to what we have going on.
Appreciate y'all.
Give y'all Instagrams real quick for go.
DGreen _still_on_purpose.
Oh. At Keep Good News, or follow at the Good News Radio, at TGN Latinx, at TGN Sports, at TGN Power Play.
All right. Christi _CEO, and you'll find the businesses there.
Right. Okay. Did you want to finish saying what you were saying?
Yep. Yep. Could y'all somebody give me a refresher where I was at? No, nobody remember. Damn, I was all right.
It was good though. Just know it was good.
Right.
It was good.
It's you know how it is in these conversations when the thoughts get rolling. And that goes to show you how much of a creative we are, how many thoughts we roll through that we can't even remember. And which is why you gave me that tip on the containers, you know, because my issue is I got so many ideas, you know, that sometimes I get like, before I even finish the last idea, I'm on to the next one. And that's trouble I find myself getting into. So I have to now, you know, as a strategy, make sure I complete my idea before I go to the next one. So,
and my mind is like that too, because they're like, I mean, this is a real instance where I'll wake up in the middle of the night, right? And my mind, like, if I do not stop myself, my mind will just be going. And I'll have to literally be like, no, I'm not about to keep thinking, like, you know, because with it being our brands and stuff, everything that comes from the brand flows through us. So, I mean, these are like new Black History Makers. That wasn't something that people were putting together before I created it. You know, the Watches Make History, you may have said it, but it wasn't on a shirt, you know, like, so all of that is like, all right, these thoughts are coming, or these ideas or whatever. And it's like, it can just keep going to the point where like your mind is just like overflowing. And that's where being like aware of like your mental health, that kind of piece comes in, and you having to say like, okay, today I'm not going to be Jasmine, the business owner. Today I'm just going to be Jasmine experiencing something. Because almost everything, we create a lot of stuff for people. You know, when do you get to go to an event for Black men that was put on by somebody else? When do you get to experience the events that you've created?
Oh, right. I don't. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even when I'm in there, from my perspective, I'm not really in here like
right. Like, and
I'm,
how many
you know,
shows keep going to?
That's
you know?
why you have a business. That's why you have a business.
For
That's
sure.
why we have business, because those spaces are literally not created.
Yeah.
Podcast Pit was created out of lack of needing a space for podcasters to come and even have a live audience experience.
Right.
So that's what makes us, moguls in what we do. That's what makes us key factor. That's what makes us, on the road to success, if not successful already. Because we understand that these spaces don't exist and we're responsible for them. So that's what makes us. That's why we're here on the show.
I would also say this is a part of why we are on the trajectory that we're on too. Like the system, the people, we always say like run with the runners. That's something like I've heard years ago and it stuck back when we was in Vima days. Run with the runners. Just by the nature of you being on your mission, you gonna run into other people on their mission.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And like sometime though, you might have a stretch. Now I didn't run a marathon. I know Keith and Denny ran a marathon, and I'm pretty. It was stretches where they saw each other, and there's stretches that they didn't see each other. They came together at certain points where one person stopped and the next person caught up. And in life, it feels very similarly. Like if I'm running, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna run. I see y'all at the.
Yeah.
I can't stop for you. If I gotta stop for it, because I want everybody from where I'm from and to understand and experiences, they gotta want it. You know what I'm saying? So like when you're just doing your thing, you run into a Jasmine, you run into a Christi, you run into a Keith, and then you start protecting those and valuing the relationships. And that's a huge part for me. It also holds me accountable. My friends don't tell me that they need me to do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, yo, the way that we moving, everybody's serious about what they doing. I can't be playing.
Yeah.
So that's that unspoken thing.
Accountability.
Yeah. And I also, damn, I keep doing this, but like, cause there was a big part that I wanted to share.
From
and
Keith?
Yeah, but I'm a pass the mic, man.
Shout out to Felix. I'm sorry. I'm seeing your comments, but I did not acknowledge you. So shout out to Felix. He's on the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
What show is this?
We don't make the rules.
We don't make
Sundays
the
at
rules.
5:30 p.m.
Shout out.
Thanks, Felix. He said,
and yeah, we're getting ready to wrap up. But he said, I love the way that y'all are sharing information willingly, and I think it's important too that we like we're literally friends. Like there's times me and Davonte will go and meet, and it'll, of course, we know that we're meeting about like business stuff, but we'll just be talking about stuff, right? And it's all contributing to either of our businesses or getting stuff like getting stuff to like a different level or whatever, and then like me and Christi don't necessarily have to be talking about business, but like I just pulled up on your kids, last week and came to talk to them. So it's like having people in your life that you can do or work with, like even with Keith, like if I didn't have anything to offer, why would he, bring me on? Or if
and
we
he
couldn't
don't bring on just anybody.
And Story, right? No, Story. When I first came in 2017, I didn't have any type of experience with radio, like at all. And it's funny because you were like, how people come in and they're like, oh, I'm gonna have a show about this, right? Like, and nobody's talking about this. Now, the way that I came to Keith was about my perspective and my life, basically, and how I can share through a perspective. And I think sometimes that's the different thing. Like, no, what I may be talking about may not be different from other people, but my perspective is different. I think I was like 21, maybe 21, working in schools.
But also, like you had that, you had it, and I'm gonna say this is my last thing, because I don't want to get too lengthy, because I can. But intentional relationships, like even though me and Davonte being best friends since high school, it's not because that's not what we best friends now. Like, we made a decision as adults to also be best friends, and we still make that decision. Let him start doing some funny shit. Like I'm gonna love him, but our time ain't gonna be spent with together.
Running.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So
you running.
The fact that we choose each other all the time, and even now as an adult, all my friends are intentional. I intentionally build a relationship with you because I feel like you somebody that's going to have value, you know what I mean, to impact on a community influence. So I'm like, okay, she may not know it yet, but I see where she working. This is somebody I want to stay close to because I know how we can be mutually beneficial. You know what I'm saying? So all my relationships, all my friendships are intentional now. It's not because of time.
And it's definitely about everybody should be used, just not misused. You know what I'm saying? I definitely be, if I can't be used, I'm useless.
If I can't offer anything to you, if I can't come talk to your kids, if I can't have a show on your network and you be able to provide this space for me, or vice versa, you know, providing men being able to come to certain things, then what are we
There's no.
What are we doing?
There's
You
no
know,
real
like,
friendship.
why? Yeah, what are we doing? But
Yeah, if you would like to collaborate as well, I'm gonna talk to you after this. We're gonna run a soiree again, but through the space, and it's gonna be something totally different.
wait,
and we're
this
gonna,
is a real.
I'm online on right now, and it's a plug. So we got the 25th hour that's
I
coming
saw
up.
that, but it's for men, right?
The 25th hour is just an all men's event, which is going to be consistent, and that's a place for us to do what we got to do in terms of build and grow and connect. But there's also the element that we've done, which is the soiree, which is a co-ed vibe, which is a mad vibe, and it's cool. We wanted to just make sure everything was aligned. So now we have our new location, things of that nature. We're going to run both. But it'll be a networking, it'll still be a networking soiree. So come out, look good, live music and all that, but we'll still have networking. I would love to connect with new Black history makers again on that.
Of course. Shout out to Felix. He said, Keith definitely turned my show down at first, made us work harder, and so appreciate it.
We did, yeah. We told them no, and that's just because and afterwards a year later when they came back a year later and they represented
a year. You stayed there.
A year, yeah. They represented. And
well, shout out.
He thanked me. He said, "No, I said thank you because we wasn't ready." So it's not. It's just about protecting the brand. I'm glad they're here. I'm glad they are here. They are a funny ass show, man. Amazing. Their work ethic is through the roof, and I appreciate having them, and I'm glad that they're here, and we protect that.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, and you listening to other shows on the network. You
does,
real.
man. Felix is a real one,
He was
man.
listening last week too. But yeah, shout out. Any last words before we get off?
Get off.
Yeah.
How she say certain words.
I'll leave y'all with this. You know what I'm saying? And that's my motto, one of my mottos, my mini motto. I'll make a book of mottos. But it's I always in business I say I'd rather be hard to deal with and easy to play with. And that's the approach I take, right? I do business when business has been done, and I've learned that that's really important. My best friend right here, when we had a show on the network, we had to sign a contract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that shit, I got respect for that. I like it tabbed me. Also look at our processes. So like do business when business is being done and don't play around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. Well, what do you want me to say after that? That's it. Yeah, I did.
Dropped it.
Yeah. Do you want to say?
I guess I would just say, just be intentional, like about everything. Like I literally still have that on my wall. I look at it every single day. And I think that if we're intentional about the places that we want to be in, the spaces that we want to be in, we continue to set those boundaries. That's one of the hardest things for me is the boundaries, especially when you start working with people that you know. It's like, oh yeah, you cool. But nah, you still have to protect everything that you're doing. So, just be intentional, set boundaries, and don't do it for anybody else. Don't do it because it's a trend. Don't do it because we see others do it. Do it because that's what you want to do, and then just perfecting that craft. So be intentional.
Yeah, I love that. I'm super excited that y'all came on. I gotta have y'all.
Thanks for having me.
We gotta do something.
I'm
and get some more business. Well, if we know some other people that are really like doing it, get them together and create something, around this, because I think
I got something in mind. I got something in mind.
So those 4 ideas.
Hey, let's do lunch next week.
5 ideas.
I'll treat us to lunch next week.
All 4.
I'm taking that.
Yeah,
I'll take it. So,
but yeah, and I think it's beautiful because this is what it is.
Yeah,
like we all are 4 different brands. We go into our spaces and we do our work. But then at the same time, like we can all sit here and just pour into each other. And I've told probably all of y'all, like, I've watched podcasts and seen people that have like got to the next level and they didn't get there by themselves. They got there with the community. Yeah. There's somebody, there's a film director, there's a fashion, designer, there's a screenplay writer that came up with them, and that's how they got to that level. So I'm excited to be here with y'all. And like Davonte said offline, like, this conversation was not the same 4 years ago. We was like, I'm like, I got t-shirts for $15.
Yeah.
Now I ain't even got a product that's $15.
Wow.
It's we leveling up.
Prices is up. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Right.
Literally.
No, for sure. But I gotta have y'all back for sure because I think there's also just some things we didn't touch on. We didn't touch on the what was it? They didn't.
Oh, they didn't believe in us. God did.
Yeah. And I think that's a testament to like literally all of us in here. Like
agreed.
you said, God did, God believed, and that's why we're here.
Do.
But thank y'all for being here. Shout out to Keith, the founder of the GoodNews Network. That is where we are. This is the New Black History Makers show. We will be back live on Friday at 3:30 every Friday. Tell your friends, your family members, everybody. But catch y'all next Friday.
Without the power of God behind everything I do, I really am completely inadequate.
I'm helping the culture. These guys are part of us as well. You know, these guys are our cousin. I'm helping the culture. I'm pushing the culture forward in another way.
Hey, Black Chow, be what you can be.